Well, here we go then. Strap yourselves in for another TNC Watchalong. How are we all doing, everyone? It's Jack Reeve. It's Talk Norwich City. It's Derby County against Norwich City. And it's live. I hope we're all doing very well indeed. This is a critical game in Norwich City season at Pride Park, at Derby County. How are we all going to get on? A big thank you to everyone for joining me this evening. It's just me. No Chris tonight. Maybe we'll try and convince him for the Sheffield Wednesday game in a few weeks' time. We're going to try and do a watch along for that as well. I'm also using some new tech. So if anything breaks, bear with me. I'm running this on dial-up internet from the rural villages of Norfolk. So stay with me. And huge thank you, as I say, to everyone for joining me. Let's get a few of you in. Great to see you all. Oakley Rivers. I miss the watch-alongs when I tune in knowing 3 points are on the way. Don't we all? Don't we all, Oakley? Chaz Tats, great to see you. 4-0 Norwich, Chaz says. Here's hoping. Tobias Warren, El Sakiko. Here we come. I don't think Liam Manning's going anywhere, even if we lose tonight, I must say. By the way, I think these lineups on screen, there might be a couple of positional errors. I think essentially what Liam Manning has tried to do tonight is to try and cram every single midfielder that we have into the starting 11. So the data provider that I use got slightly confused. You can see the starting 11's flicking through. Yeah, they've got Mirko Topic at left back. It'll be Kenny McLean at left back. So let's stick with that. It's Vladan Kovacevic, Stacey, Medic, Darling, and McLean, Topic and Matson, and then it will be Makama, Gibbs, Schwartau, and Sargent. Probably Makama with 2 up top. And kind of 2 wingers, I guess, if you can class Liam Gibbs as a winger. I must say, when I see these kind of evening, Joshua, how are you doing, mate? When I see these starting 11s come through just on a graphic rather than like visually laid out, I really do have to concentrate to try and figure out what's going on. Great to see you all in here this evening. Kickoff is in about 6 minutes' time. So let me know what you're up to. How are we all getting on? I do have an unopened bottle of Lakens just near me, which I may well pour for a little Tuesday evening treat shortly. And we'll see how it goes. Let me know if you can hear me okay, see me okay. As I say, I'm it's always a slight struggle going live from my house because because my internet is so poor, but we can only we can only do our best. Harry, a huge thank you, my friend, for the super chat. Good evening, Jack. Not too hopeful tonight, but let's get it either way. It's in the blood. Always up for watching Norwich, no matter what. On the ball, City. Very kind for the super chat, Harry. I do appreciate it. If you do want to support the channel, then you can leave a super chat. I think you just click on the little pounds sign near the comment section. As always, absolutely no expectation. Harry, great to see you. Great to see all of you in here this evening for what should hopefully be a fun evening, he says. Sai, we can see and hear fine. That is that is a relief. Let's get some more comments in here, shall we? Let's get some score predictions. Archie says 1-1. I think I'd take it, to be honest. I think I'd take it. Dave, Villa fan, started watching TNC over the last 18 months. Let's hope for a Norwich win this evening. Dave, thank you very much, my friend. I really appreciate it. And yeah, let's hope for a win tonight. We are in desperate need. Toby says 2-2. Austin Does Fever says 2-0 to Derby. Harry says 3-2 to Norwich. My goodness. Lou says Oscar Schwartau to score. Let's hope. James just says, let's hope for a fun evening. We can certainly hope. RC83, save the Lakens for when we score. On second thoughts, maybe not. I want to drink it at some point, RC83. I can't wait all night, and it's out of the fridge now, so it's warming up. This is good from Diz, and I wanted to discuss this before kickoff. Jacob Wright once again not in the starting 11, and seemingly Norwich are crying out for that creative outlet in the middle of the park. We're playing Topic, Matson, McLean, Liam Gibbs, all in the starting 11. They are identical players, just in very different positions tonight. Jacob Wright is something different. Now, there were rumours, and the chap that tweeted it, Matt, is a good friend of ours, and he certainly wouldn't be making it up. He was saying that Jacob Wright was kind of buoying up the fans when the Manning out chant started at the weekend. So clearly something has happened between the two of them. He probably doesn't see eye to eye the fact that he's not getting in the starting 11. Jacob Wright was on the TNT podcast in the summer, and it was like seemingly a given that at some stage he would be captain. Well, he's not even in the starting 11 anymore, which is absolutely remarkable, and not sure what's happened there. The teams are walking out. It's 3 minutes to kick off. Diz, thank you very much for your comment this evening, and a big thanks to everyone who's tuned in. Look, there's a lot of comments around Liam Manning, and I will say this. I don't think Norwich City will be making any change in terms of Ben Napper, in terms of Liam Manning, in terms of Zoe Webber, certainly tonight, unless we get absolutely thumped. And I don't think I just can't see change happening. I think I said it. I released a video this morning. Head over and watch it if you haven't already after this match. Norwich want consistency. The Atanasios want consistency. I just can't see a world where anything changes in the next few games. I wouldn't run the club that way, but, that's why I'm not running a football club. Thanks so much, everyone, for your kind super chats. Matty says, hard one to call, both struggling, so I'm going 1-1. It's a good point, Matty. Derby, I think, are yet to win at home either. I think they've got 1 point, so one more than us. And Norwich have been better away from home this season. You can't get any worse than our home form, but 8 points collected away from home so far. Let's hope for some more tonight. Derby struggling. We are struggling. El Sakiko, as we were calling it on the podcast. Matty, thank you very much, my friend, for your kind super chat. Right, we're about 60 seconds away from kickoff. Looking forward to this one. OTBC, new member. Thanks very much, mate. OTBC NZ, new member. You can join as a member on the channel, and the support is greatly appreciated. Let's get some more comments in here before the team starts. Something about me knowing that Liam Manning will be going. Maddie says Carlton Morris to haunt us tonight. Yeah, Carlton Morris in the starting 11 for Derby County. They've actually got quite a good squad, Derby. I was looking at it just a second ago. It's a pretty good team. Surprised that they've been struggling as much. I'm going to pour my Lakens, I think. I'm going to pour my Lakens and see how we go. Let me know where you're watching from this evening as well. I'm in my house in the rural Norfolk villages on the dial-up internet. Lakens Encore, the tipple this evening. I suspect plenty of you have got a Lakens or a beverage of your choice on the go, maybe some dinner. Let me know what you're consuming this evening. Lakens, by the way, in the Lion and Castle has been a complete game changer, hasn't it? Absolutely delighted to see that. Cheers, everyone. Let's strap ourselves in and hope for the best. Another super chat. My goodness me, you are treating me this evening. Ezek says probably an unpopular opinion at this point, but I would give Napper Manning the January window. Then there will be no excuse for failure. Do you give Ben Napper a third, another window? Or if he was to sack Manning, do you give him the opportunity for the appointment of another head coach? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I think you're probably right, Ezek. I think unless we are catastrophically adrift, I think that he will get January. I do. Anyway, we're underway. We are underway at Pride Park. My clock is working, which is good. So we haven't got to keep checking in for time checks this evening. You can see where I'm at on screen there. I think you can, yeah. Norwich in yellow, away from home, which is nice. Derby County in their traditional white. It's a shame that we've been so rubbish because the kit's actually quite nice, isn't it? Usually when we're good at football, it means the kit is really poor. I'm actually a little bit behind on my streams. I'm going to try and sort this clock out. Bear with me as I try and navigate tech, which is always good fun. So many of you tuned in, which is wonderful to see. And goodness me, a downpour at Pride Park. It's going to be slippery there this evening. Let's have a look through here. Okay. Someone's having a full English for dinner. Now that is good to see. Yeah, good point from Ross. It is Ipswich Charlton this evening, isn't it? Onel Hernandez versus Marcelino Nunes. So keep me adrift. That is Onel starting? I wouldn't have thought he'd be starting, would he? And also, don't forget Sonny Carey doing very well at Charlton at the moment. Obviously, came through the ranks at Norwich, so I'm sure he'll be up for this evening's game. Let's just stick to some match stats, shall we? Hopefully these keep updating. I'm really liking all of this tech that I've got going on. I feel rather honoured that it's all working. Jack Stacey into the middle of the park. Tries to go into Mirko Topic, who will collect the ball. This is good. Pretty good start this from Norwich. 2 minutes and 30 seconds into this one. Look, Norwich needs something tonight, and actually playing away from home might actually suit us. You know, away from the pressure. Jovan McCarmel with the knockdown. Oh, it's a massive chance already. Oh, we've hit the post. We have hit the post. That was a wonderful opportunity. Wonderful opportunity already there. Jovan McCarmel with the knockdown. It was a long ball floated in. McCarmel's knocked it down. Oh, my goodness. We should have scored. We've hit the post, and it was a really good opportunity. I'm not actually sure who it fell for. Let me know in the comments. But that was, you can see Jovan McCarmel's instant impact there. He's gone for the header. He's won it. He's knocked it down, and Norwich have a chance. And here they come again through Josh Sargent. Derby are all over the place. It's Oscar Schwartau who hits the side netting. It was Schwartau first. It was Schwartau again. Good opportunities. 3 minutes and 30 seconds into this one. Norwich should be one up. They will be ruining that missed opportunity. It was Oscar Schwartau just off balance. Just off balance. He had Liam Gibbs over. He opted for Schwartau and he's hit wide. But my goodness me, Derby County, we may well have found a worse defensive side than Norwich City. That is a good start from Norwich, but the scoreline is still 0-0. It's really difficult, actually, watching football without any commentary because I'm trying to look at the comments. I'm trying to look at the game, and here they come again. What's been good here is we've got Sargent running off the shoulder. We've had Jovan McCarmel winning a header. It was Liam Gibbs, I think, who had the opportunity. Tobias Warren. Oh, you guys do make me laugh. Have I tuned into the wrong game? We've made a forward pass. Yeah, this is a much better start, isn't it? Much, much better start. How have we not scored? Says Ads and Kalen. Yeah, not sure. Let's hope we don't come to regret that. That was a really good opportunity. But I tell you what, we've said about Jovan McCarmel all season, haven't we? He provides something different, and he set up that first opportunity. And here he comes again. He is playing down the right wing. It's Liam Gibbs who's playing centrally. Oscar Schwartau on the left. Josh Sargent through the middle. It was a crossfield ball that found the head. Again, Kenny McLean opted for McCarmel. And again, McCarmel will win it. He'll come into the box. He's done really well, Jovan McCarmel. And he'll tee it up for Mirko Topic. He'll strike it. McCarmel again. Again, the central point to that attack. Great stuff. That Kenny McLean ball, and McCarmer is winning everything in the air. He's got a headband on, that wonderful head of hair of his, getting soaked in the Pride Park rain. And oh my goodness, it was Liam Gibbs with the chance. He should have scored. And then it went back to Sargent. And then he had an opportunity. And then it was Oscar Schwartau. And it was a good save from the goalkeeper. McLean to McCarmer, providing opportunities. This is a good start from Norwich. But it is still 0-0. Just sad. McCarmer channeling his inner Andy Carroll. He really is. Look, whatever works. Whatever works. I'm beyond care at this point. So you do you, Liam Manning. You do you, Jovan McCarmer. What I would say with McCarmer is, look, he was a proven League One striker. He scored goals for Lincoln, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that if they're proven in the EFL, they will probably be able to step up in grade and do okay. Or if they're proven in the Championship, even better. Jovan McCarmer's impact in 60 minutes of probably combined game time for Norwich has been far more influential than Mate Jurisic, Ante Sienats, Forza Mankwa. The list goes on, right? He cut out for it. And I want to see more of that. Yes, it might sound a little bit Brexity. Oh, I want more recruitment in the English divisions. Oh, Derby are through. It's Carlton Morris. He'll cut it across. Jakov Medic in absolute no man's land. Deary me. I think me on a few Lakens is quicker than Jakov Medic. But yeah, the Jovan McCarmer epitomises what I want more of from our recruitment department. Proven players that can cut it in this division rather than watching players get injured, or Ante Sienats trying to get up to speed, or Mate Jurisic attempt to convince us that he has played professional football before. And breathe. MJM, Sargent needs help. It's clear. Well, look, I mean, Sargent started the season brilliantly, didn't he? Basically scored a goal a game for the first 6 and then hasn't had a scrap, to feed on since. It's give Sargent the ball, he'll score goals. I thought it was pretty obvious how incredibly isolated he's been in the last few. He will score goals if you get him the ball. And first 5 minutes of this game, he has been running off the shoulder. Norwich have started this game better. There's a little bit more urgency. Let's hope we see a reaction from these boys tonight, because, if I was one of these players and I'd heard my manager digging me out the other day, I'd want to give a reaction. He basically said he can only rely on 2 or 3 of the players, and said that he felt, let down and couldn't rely on any of the others. Well, that's not a great sign. Ezek, again, thanks so much for the super chat. £2. Jurisic and Sienats means £16 million on the bench. Don't even start. It makes me angry, because Norwich have never been in the situation in my supporting lifetime ever where we've had financial power to throw around that kind of money. And I know that our net spends still under the Atanasios is, we're still profitable because of the sales of Sarah and Rowe and Adam Eder and whoever else, right? But to chuck £16 million at Ante Sienats and Mate Jurisic is just chronic wastage. I can't gloss it. I think Sienats has more potential than Jurisic. Jurisic just looks completely dead and buried. I don't know what we saw in him. He's never fit. He doesn't look fussed. He's overweight. I thought the performance he put in against Bristol City was nothing shy of disgraceful, to be honest. Carlton Morris giving Jack Stacey the absolute runaround there. Derby County have grown into this one a little bit more. Actually, slightly fortunate that that's not a penalty. He was kind of progressing towards the box. Stacey's brought him down. I think he's booked him. He has, yeah. And Morris has had Jack Stacey all ends up there. Oh, dear. God, we should have scored in that opening few minutes. Liam Gibbs, Oscar Schwartau. Good to see we're trying something a little bit different tonight. That little diagonal from McLean into Jovan McCarmer, that's a bit more like it. Oh, dear. Just tats. Just seen someone describe McCarmer as a Grant Holt regen. I mean, we need like 100 goals out of him and, you know, a couple of championships and Premier League success before we start calling, even putting Jovan McCarmer's name in the same sentence as Grant Holt's. James Wallace says, I'm not bothered by fancy football. I just want to see us win. Yeah, you know what, James? I'm at that same point as well. Like, I am genuinely concerned. I'm not just, you know, saying this for effect, that Norwich are in a relegation scrap. I've not seen enough. That's a great header from Kenny McLean at left back. I've not seen enough to convince me otherwise this season. You know, we've been awful at home. We've been okay away from home in some of the games, like Stoke and Coventry points. I think they were slightly fortunate, but I thought we were good at Blackburn. I thought for 60 minutes we were good against Portsmouth. But I mean, the last month has just been painful, really painful. And like this game, Sheffield Wednesday in a couple of weeks, Hull at home, like these are games we have to win. Like there is no excuse, right? There is absolutely zero excuse. We have to win tonight. We have to win against Hull. We have to win against Sheffield Wednesday. Norwich said that anything less than top 6 this season was a failure. Well, I don't think we're getting top 6. I would actually probably take mid-table at this stage. But to get out of this rut, to get out of this just awful spiral of football, we need to win football matches by hook or by crook, right? And then you can start to build. And then you'll have some players coming back in Matthias Fisk-Gordon and, you know, Forson and Ben Crescene and Papa Amadou Diallo. Like, then you can start to build. At the moment, just win. Just win. Thanks to Freddie for the super chat. He says, Norwich win and an 0-0 coming on against Ipswich tonight to get the win and would do very nicely to lift the mood. Oh, wouldn't it just? Wouldn't it just, Freddie? Keep me in the loop on what's going on. I think it's at Portman Road tonight, isn't it? Keep me in the loop on that one. You've got Onel, you've got Sonny Carey. You've obviously got the Marcelino Nunez situation. Is Nunez starting for Ipswich? I don't think he has been, has he? I don't think Onel's starting for Charlton. Norwich progressing up the pitch, and they've won themselves a corner. Good stuff from Norwich. Thank you, Freddie. That's very kind for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Thanks to everyone that's left the super chat tonight. It's a huge support for the channel, and we're really trying. I'm not sure if you've noticed. I mean, we've been trying for the past decade on TNC, but we've really been putting the hours in recently, and I hope you've enjoyed the content and the podcast and the watch-alongs and the interviews. The list goes on. Nunez is starting. And Onel's benched in the Ipswich-Charlton match. So keep me in the loop. It will be a corner from Norwich. It's headed clear by Carlton Morris. It will fall to the back post. It's Jovan McCarmer up again. It will be collected by the Derby goalkeeper. Still 0-0 in this one. And I don't have to give time checks. There's a clock up there. There's a score there. There's live stats here. There's copy there. There's a league table. Bloody everything. Norwich getting away with one there. Mirko Topic. Pel Matson will come forwards. He'll go into Liam Gibbs and Oscar Schwartau. Back to Matson. Norwich are moving the ball a little bit quicker tonight. Norwich aren't moving the ball. I say tonight, we're 14 minutes into this. We just have to hope that continues. Jakov Medic. Can I have your thoughts on Jakov Medic? I don't know what to make of him. I'm confused as to why we signed him. I don't think he's a Liam Manning type player. He certainly doesn't fit into this system. I think he's good aerially, and I think there's a presence about him, but I don't think he can play as high up the pitch as Manning wants him to. Norwich controlling possession here. They're knocking it around nicely. McLean is constantly looking for that diagonal into Jovan McCarmer. It's worked once tonight. Let's hope it will continue to work. Mirko Topic in his short socks progressing forwards. Really poor ball from Jakov Medic into Stacey. And that will go out for a Derby County throw-in. Absolutely chucking it down. Pride Park. I'm very glad I'm in my warm house. Matthew, not beating around. Medic is stinking. Fair enough. Speezy says he's a good player, but in our system he doesn't fit. Can work in a 5 at the back though. Yeah, I think he probably works in a 5. I think that's fair. Susanna. Hello, Susanna. How are you? From the looks of the empties, either there is an apathy at Pride Park or they're also deciding to dabble in posh seating. Yeah, maybe they've had a stadium redevelopment and an improved match day experience at Pride Park. Some leather seats and prawn sandwiches. I'm sure that's exactly what people in Derbyshire want as they watch their team try and pick up their first win at home this season. 0-0, Derby County, Norwich City, El Sakico, Liam Gibbs. I keep seeing Liam Gibbs in like a really attacking position and thinking it's someone else, but it is definitely Liam Gibbs, and he is playing as a winger tonight. That is a sentence I didn't think I'd ever utter, but there we are. We are in this position where Kenny McLean is a left back, and Jovan Makama is a right winger, and Jakov Medic is delivering a cross. It's a great cross as well. It's a brilliant bit of goalkeeping. There we go, Jakov Medic. Who knew? That was a wonderful delivery. Wonderful delivery. Norwich controlling the game. Savour that sentence. Norwich are controlling the game. That will come back to bite me, I'm sure, but I haven't seen this too often from Norwich this season. Derby have looked really poor so far. Carlton Morris has been the threat. We know all about him. He's the one that got away, isn't he? Sargent's dropping a little bit deeper. Jovan Makama is almost the one who's progressed higher up the pitch. Jack Stacey will come down the right-hand side. And how often this season have we said that he's the main attacking outlet? It's a good ball into Oscar Schwartau and it's headed out. Another Norwich City corner. Here we are. Norwich need a goal. They've been pressing. They've been finding something. They've had chances. Liam Gibbs should have scored. Oscar Schwartau maybe should have done better. And a warm welcome to all of you joining. Pour yourself a Lakens. There is a link actually in the description if you want some money off Lakens. It's 20% off. It always has been. And it always will be here on TNC. And it's also now in the line in Castle. Liam Gibbs to deliver the cross. It's whipped on by Kenny McLean. It's won by Sargent. It's scattergun in the box. It will fall to Jakov Medic and it's collected by the Derby County goalkeeper. Another opportunity there from a corner for Norwich. It was a nice flick on. Everything is coming through Kenny McLean. Dear old Kenny. I remember I used to play, this was probably Football Manager 2013. And I had a save with Rangers. And was it Ross McCulloch or Lee McCulloch? And I remember he just used to be able to play in every single position. He was about 39 years old. And I just used to play him up front in centre back. I think I played him in goal once. And it just worked. Kenny McLean's a bit like that. Play him any way you want. He'll do a job. Derby are through here. Is this offside? It is offside. Jack Stacey's got to be a little bit careful on the booking. He's so high up. He's so high risk. Liam Manning expects so much of him. He just needs to be a little bit careful there because he was out of position. He was tracking back. There was a moment where I thought, don't be clumsy here, Jack. Don't be clumsy. He wasn't. Jack, you are our saviour. I haven't stopped laughing at your commentary. I promise that's not my mum. And I promise that's not my burner account. Jane, thank you very much. That's a very kind thing to say. Jack Stacey, down the right-hand side, that's gone out. Chaz Tats, we have to score the first goal. We have to. I hope I'm emphasising your capitals there, Chaz. Yeah, I mean, if we don't, it's game over, isn't it? I heard Claire Thomas, the Norwich fan, describe every goal we've conceded this season as inevitable. And that felt like quite a nice word to describe it. Look, Norwich need to get ahead. They need to find a way to win. They just need to fucking get a performance. Just get a result. Don't care how. Don't care if it's off Jovan. I don't care if it's a replica of Jovan McCarman's goal against Wrexham. He's been good so far tonight. He's been lively. Old Jovan, Big Mac. Good to see. Reese Brown, it's all been downhill since No Chill Cashy stopped piping up. It's been downhill for my bank account since No Chill Cashy stopped joining these, Reese. What days they were. Simpler times, my friend. Simpler times. Charlie says, on a slightly different note, Jack, where is your artwork from behind you? It's a very good question and one I don't know the answer to. I can't remember. It's one of these sort of 3-piece ones that goes together, and it feels. I'm in my sort of dining room at the moment. I don't know. It's sort of arty farty, isn't it? So sorry, that's very unhelpful. But I don't know. Have a look around. Support an independent art supplier. Have a look around a gallery or something. Matthew Barber. God, these watch-alongs bring back good memories. Oh, Matthew, I get emotional thinking about it. The hats, the Lakens. It was a joyful time. Daniel Farker football. Remember when we beat Huddersfield 7-0? I think it was 7-0. I think it was Huddersfield. Oh, just joyful, Matthew. Joyful. Every time we came on here, we got drunk and we knew Norwich would win. And, you know, we had characters in the stream, and look, I'm really appreciative for this community. I really do. D-Jam, hey, mate, how's it going? Norwich have another corner. Look at that, 68% possession. We're absolutely bossing this. 1-0 defeat incoming. It's going to be a whipped-in ball from Kenny McLean. He will whip that ball in. Oh, and it's nearly crept in. It's another corner. If this game was based on corners, we'll be absolutely pumping them at the moment. D-Jam, Evening Jack, thanks for all your content this season. The honesty and rawness from yourself and Chris has been a breath of fresh air. Fair play. Thanks, DJ. Look, we'll always say it as it is, right? We'll always say it is. We've got nothing to kind of lose on that front. You know, that's the joy of being completely separate from the club. You know, if things are going well and we're saying nice things, then we'll get access, and if we're not, then we won't, and like that's fine. Either way, that's fine. Like, you know, we have a working kind of relationship and dialogue with the club. I don't think we'll be on their Christmas card list this year. I think that one might be sort of mushed down and pulped up and recycled. But, you know, we're honest. We're fans, right? That's all we are. We're fans who want to see Norwich succeed, and we'll get giddy and probably overexcited when we, you know, it doesn't warrant it, and we'll get, you know, emotional when things are going badly, and we'll try and call it how it is. We'll get it wrong sometimes. We'll get it right others. It's a game of opinions, right? Jovan McCarmer down this right-hand side. Go on, Big Mac. Go on, son. Go, he's good, this McCarmer, lad. Go on, son. Oh, lovely bursting run down the right-hand side. That hair just bouncing up and down. Tries to find the cross. Doesn't quite work. Jovan McCarmer from front to back there. Or back to front. I don't know how you want to describe it, but that was a wonderful run by Jovan McCarmer, and he is pulling the strings for this Norwich attack this evening. Great stuff, Jovan McCarmer. Great stuff. Big strides and pacey for a big lad. Good touch for a big lad. Jack, please, have you heard yourself? Yeah, way too much, mate. I've heard myself way too much over the last few weeks. I'm bored of my voice. Derby County coming forwards here through their number 7. Good opportunity. That's cleared by Mirko Topic in his hilariously short socks. Yeah, McCarmer has a lot of pace for a big lad. He really does. MJ Hem, bringing the mood down. Never too up in the TNT Watchalongs. This game stinks of the 1-0 defeat to West Brom at home. Good stuff. Just as we were getting excited. Appreciate it. Con says a win tonight feels crucial, not only for the table, but for team morale. Positive signs so far, but it's Norwich. That's so true. Let's hope we get the job done. Yeah, this has been a pretty promising start. We've had the better chances, but look, it's still 0-0. Derby have been poor, I'll say that. I'll say that much. Ian Crow says, how tall actually is McCarmer? Looks like when you edit a player on Football Manager and put the wrong number in. He is huge. I think he's like, I want to say 6'5", 6'6". You really see it in person. The last few times I've been at Carrow Road and he's come on, you're like, oh my God, he is huge. But he's also got a great touch. He's very quick. I like McCarmer a lot. I think there's a real player in there. He's got a presence. And as I said earlier, he's got a presence. He's proven in the FL. He scored more goals than Mate Jurisic. And he was a fifth of the price. Josh Sargent on the ball. Nice little flick to Pearl Matson. Good stuff this from Norwich. Matson again coming forwards. Again, Jack Stacey with lots of room on that right-hand side. Will he deliver a ball? Yes, he will with the left foot. Not the best of passes, but Norwich will recycle it again through Jack Stacey. Lots of possession. You can see there, 70% of the ball already. 4 shots, 2 on target, 4 corners. My goodness me, for the first time this season, I've looked at those stats and not wanted to sort of gouge my eyeballs out. Which is not wanting to not see the football match is progress. Jack Stacey down the right hand side again. He'll try and find a pass that looked like handball. I don't think it's given. It's out for another Norwich City corner. We need to make the most of this possession. We need to make the most of this dominance, because how many times have we as Norwich fans gone, cool, that was a good start. Oh, we lost 1-0. I don't want to be saying that again tonight. I really don't. But there's been a few nice passages. Probably one clear-cut chance. That was the Makama knockdown for Liam Gibbs. Schwartau's had a couple of half chances. Sargent's got in some good positions. The right side is open for Jack Stacey. He could run down that side, have a 3-course meal, sink a pint of Lakens, and still have time. Sargent back in the box. It will fall to Oscar Schwartau. Poor control. Again, Norwich will go again. It's a nice turn from Liam Gibbs on the edge of the area. All Norwich City at the moment. Kenny McLean will try and find the head of Pel Matson. He does. Back to Jakov Medic with an interesting touch, but he's a centre-back. That's not what he's there for. Mirko Topic, those short socks really annoy me. Kenny McLean will pick his head up and try and find short sock Topic again, and he will look for Oscar Schwartau, who's so good for a 19-year-old. He'll deliver across. It's headed away again. And Norwich will go once again through Kenny McLean. Are we bored of this commentary yet? I hope not. You've got more of it. Cleared by Derby County. Again, it will be recycled through Pel Matson and Josh Sargent. And Norwich City are keeping the ball really, really well. But NCFC, Jovan Makama 6'5". He's big. You wouldn't want to mark him, would you? And that's nice to say about a Norwich player. Oh, he's actually quite scary. He's quite a scary, proposition, rather than Mate. I genuinely think I could mark Mate Jurisic out of a game, and I'm 2 stone overweight and play football once a week. I think I could have marked him out of the game on Saturday. I do. MJM, I'll be more positive once we've won a couple of games and not in the relegation fight. So fair. So fair, MJM. So fair, mate. How many times this season, says Arthur, have we had a good first half and ends in defeat? I wouldn't say we've had any, I think the good performances we've had this season have ended in wins. I think Blackburn was our best complete performance, followed by Portsmouth. I thought that Watford in the Cup was pretty good, but Watford were poor. I'm struggling to kind of work out how good those good performances were, because I don't think the Championship's that great. I thought it was going to be good this season. I thought like Wrexham and Birmingham and those types of teams would come up and really do something, but Coventry have been okay. They've been exciting to watch and they've created loads and they've scored loads of goals, but I think they're beatable. We got a point against them. We nearly beat them. There's not a Leeds or a Newcastle or a Fulham or those teams where you go, yeah, they're miles better than everyone else. There's really not. I mean, I look at, Stoke and Sargent coming forward here. Sargent will strike. Oh, that was a good chance. He had Liam Gibbs. He had Jovan Makama up top with him. We are getting in good positions. Josh Sargent is getting space. He had an opportunity there. He pulled the shot off, and it was a good block from the defender. Norwich City building. It's Derby County 0, Norwich City 0, and we are 29 minutes into this game. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you want to support the channel, you can leave a super chat. Thanks to all of you already that have. Great to see you all. Corner ball for Norwich City. Met at the back post by Josh Sargent. No, it's not. It's headed up, and that will be another corner. We must be approaching nearly double figures for corners now. Paul Reed says, hi, Jack. First-time viewer. Was on a holiday in Skiathos. Very nice. Missed the first 20 minutes. Stats look like we're dominating. Does it look that way? It does look that way. I'm watching the game, and it certainly does look that way, Paul. We've got most of the ball. We've had the better chances. We are very much the better team in this one so far. Oscar Schwartau back to Kenny McLean. Will he try and find a cross? He will, and it will be met by Pel Matson. And there we go. Oh, chance! Matson! Oh, no! It's it! Oh, God! That should have been a goal. That should have been a goal on the half-hour mark. It was Makama, it was Matson, and it's Matson again, and it's Oscar Schwartau. And again, it's out for a corner. Oscar Schwartau looks like me on a dance floor on a Friday night, getting the away fans going. It was McLean again finding the ball. Matson down to it was Darling, and then it was Medic, and then it was Matson, and then it was Makama, and then it was Gibbs. Every single player there has had an opportunity to score, and guess what? No one has. But it is another corner. Surprise, surprise. I think this is the 8th of the game. It will be whipped in by Liam Gibbs. It will be met by a Derby County bald head. Back in the box. It will fall for the Derby goalkeeper. Oh, God, we should be 2-0. Should be 2-0. I like that from Oscar Schwartau. 19 years old, leading by example, getting the fans going. Look, us Norwich fans aren't happy with the way things have been going this season. I'll tell you another fan base that also aren't. Derby County, yet to win at home. Still have one more point at home than Norwich do, but that's not difficult. But they have been poor. They've been poor this season. They've been poor in this game. Let's go out and let's punish a side, shall we? Should we do that? That would be really nice to do. Really nice to do. Good stuff from Norwich. Good half an hour. We can't finish our dinner, but we've served it up on the plate. We've taken it over. We're having a little night in front of the telly on the sofa. We've got the lap tray out. We've stuck it on the lap tray and we forgot the cutlery. So it's a little momentary lapse where we have to walk back to the kitchen, get our knife and fork, and then hopefully we'll be able to tuck into our dinner. But at the moment, it's sat in front of us, steaming hot, but we're still hungry and we're still in need of more. There we go. Cheers. Link in the description. 20% off Lakens with TNC. Sorry, I'm going slightly balmy. I forgot that these watch-alongs get this way. Susanna George says, once upon a time, if we got that close to the goal, it was going in. Now I barely leave my seat. Yeah, you are spot on, Susanna. But Josh Sargent's through here. Can we get off our seat now? Josh Sargent, couple of flicks back to Matson. The goal will open up. No, hit it. Hit it. Oh, McLean's been kicked in the face by Carlton Morris. That's not very nice, Carlton. That's not very nice. Peter Bennett. We're thrashing them 0-0. Oh. Worst analogy of all time, says Jack Long. Yeah, fair point. Matthew Barber, Jack's lost his head. To lose your head means that you had your head in the first place. I've never had it. It's always been lost. 0-0. I'm going to let myself get excited at this performance so far because it's been way better than anything we've seen probably so far this season. But it is still a draw. The Norwich fans are up for this. The Derby County fans, I think, are starting to turn. And this is when you start to turn the knife a little bit. Let's get stuck into Derby. Let's make some fans unhappy for once. Liam Manning described this as being too nice. And I agree. Nice Norwich City. Let's be nasty Norwich City for once. Let's make these Derby fans never want to go to Pride Park again. Too often we've gone, oh, you're a bit upset about your performances. Oh, have a win. Have a goal. Oh, Bristol City. Oh, have a goal. Go on. Go on. Just have that. Norwich need a win tonight, desperately. And this is a really good opportunity to get one. Really good opportunity. Tristan, hey, Jack. Enjoying the TNC watch-along from Skiathos too? What's going on in Skiathos? Where was my invite? Tristan, can't believe there's 2 Norwich fans there at once on a small Greek island. Both watching the game. Look, Norwich are massive. Jovan Makama down the right-hand side. If Jovan Makama scores tonight, I'll book him a holiday to Skiathos as well. Let's make it a trifecta of Norwich fans. This is like watching 1970s Brazil tonight from Norwich. Great stuff. so far. And Tristan, well, enjoy Skiathos. I'm sure your family or whoever you're with are absolutely delighted that you're watching Norwich against Derby while you're on holiday. What else would you be doing? What else would you be doing? Johnny says, your commentary is very Alan Partridge. Good stuff. Well, a Norfolk legend. Tobias says, in light of bonding fans in Skiathos, are there any Norwich fans in Hull? From Skiathos to Hull. Way to bring the mood down, Tobias. Deary me. Former city of culture, of course, though. Skiathos doesn't have that fame, does it? Former city of culture. You will never sing that. There we go. God, this is like Friends Reunited on the TNT Watchalong. Jovan McCarmer is making me fall in love with football again. That's what I'll say. A big shithouse, running very fast at an opposition goal. I'm an easy man to please, and he is pleasing me tonight. I was born in Hull, says Eleanor. I'm from Howden, near Hull. FT says it's never dull in Hull. Wow, there we go. Who knew that Hull had so many fans in here this evening? Not me. Derby County 0, Norwich City 0, 36 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Time is flying by, and it does when you have fun. Championship Tuesday night. Clock's nearly changing. Pitch black at 6 o'clock. This is peak living, my friends. Soak it in. Enjoy it. Proper Brits. It's been quite nice to not be saying Vladan Kovacevic's name every 5 seconds. I tell you what, I also haven't missed saying, but I will have to say it now. Misplaced pass from Jakov Medic. He's actually been quite good tonight, but that was a really poor pass. Let's talk that up. Misplaced pass from Derby County. Opportunity to break. Liam Gibbs goes back to Kenny McLean. Derby are winless in 8 home league games. Their longest run since December 2020. Long come Norwich. Jakov Medic. Good ball into Jovan McCarmer. Well, this is nice from Norwich City. Unlucky. Jovan McCarmer. He's like glue. And a really good glue. He's like no nails. Just holding everything together this evening. Great stuff. Ollie says, how's the game going? Just joined. Norwich absolutely dominating. Haven't scored. 0-0. Been much better. Much better. Dominating the ball. Not a sideways. McCarmer's been good. Couple of chances. McCarmer's had one. Liam Gibbs has had one. Oscar Schwartau's had a couple. Pel Matson's had one. Basically, everyone's had one. No one scored one. Actually, Matthews. Sorry, Jack. Joined late. Where's Chris? Is he in a straitjacket somewhere, rocking back and forth? I think recent performances has sent Chris close to the end. Oh, what a ball. Jack Stacey, strong goal. Hit it. Stacey. Oh, finish your dinner, son. You've forgotten the cutlery again. Oh. That was the equivalent of having a nice Willie's pie served up at half-time and dropping it all over the concourse. Stacey in a world of space. Really good build-up play from Norwich. Though. This is better. This is better. Is this Manning ball? Is this what I was promised all along? Is it starting to come to fruition? Did all it take was me asking Norwich to sack every single member of staff? Maybe that got a reaction. Who knows? 0-0. D-Jam, Stacey. Wasn't sure if he was crossing or shooting. Demo says Derby are super poor. Or are we just really good? Oldie 65 seems Norwich can't find the back of the net. It seems that way, doesn't it? It seems that way. William Turner actually playing really well, just shite finishing. He should be a pundit, Will. Couldn't put it better myself. Welcome along, everyone. This is the Talk Norwich City watch along for Derby County against Norwich City. If you're tuning in expecting to be able to watch the game, you can't. You watch me in my dining room making commentary, probably on about a 30-second delay. for a Tuesday night championship game. There we go. Keep the comments coming, people. Always great to see. Nemo says, we're actually playing forward balls. Makes you wonder if it was a confidence thing. Josh Sargent coming forward here. Go on, Sarge. Go on, Sarge. It's another corner. How many corners have we had? I'll tell you, we've had 9. Josh Sargent running towards an opposition goal. Oh, it's been a while since I've seen it. Makes you wonder if it was a confidence thing. I don't know if it was a confidence thing. Look, I don't know what Manning has said. I don't know what these players have done. They certainly look more up for it tonight. There's certainly more urgency. I like to see Oscar Schwartau flinging his arms at the away fans, getting them up for it. I really like to see that. Right, another corner. Come on, let's make the most of this. Let's get a fucking, Harry Darling head on it, or Jovan Makama, or Jakov Medic, or another big skull. All right, we were really good at set pieces start of the season. Think about Portsmouth away. Couple of goals, both from set pieces. We could be 9-0 up now if we'd scored every corner. Liam Gibbs to take it. Whipped in. Jakov Medic rises. Doesn't rise high enough. Back out to Pell Matson. Back in the box. Back out to Pell Matson. And Derby will try and force a counter-attack. Force a counter-attack they will. Norwich are slightly exposed here. Well tracked back from Jack Stacey. Well tracked back from Matson. Relieves pressure a little bit, but it's a nice ball through to Carlton Morris. Got to be careful here, Norwich. Got to be careful here. Carlton Morris. It's cut across. It's a good chance for Derby. And it's a good block from Jakov Medic, who I felt the roar through the screen. I thought he was about to headbutt someone. That was a brilliant interception from Jakov Medic. Well done. Norwich exposed on the counter-attack there. That will be the problem. And Norwich have to switch on, because wouldn't it be so apt if after all of this huffing and puffing, we actually go into the break 1-0 down. Good hold-up play from Sarge. Really good from Sarge. Can he find a pass? No support. Come on. God, yeah. Passion from Medic there. Did you see that? That was absolutely brilliant. I don't think he'd actually cleared the ball and he was roaring. That's what I want to see. A bit of fucking something, right? Not, is what it is. We've lost again. More to life. Yeah, I know there's more to life than football, but I don't want to hear that. I want to see Kovacevic punching his centre-backs in the face. I want to see Liam Manning in tears at full time, saying, I'd die for the badge, right? I want Norwich to be nasty. I want Norwich to be up for it. I want to see Jakov Medic chest pumping Harry Darling. That's what I want to see. I want to see more of that. I want to see Jakov Medic celebrating before the ball's even clear. Just seeing the rewind there. Yeah, the ball's not even clear, and Medic is giving it full fist pumps. Fair fucks. Give him the man of the match. Don't care what he does from here. Give him the man of the match for that alone. Great stuff, Jakov Medic. Good to see you, my friend. Deary me. Deary me. Nearly half-time. 43 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. Norwich have been the better team, but it is still 0-0. A couple of people asking how I'm watching the game. Every midweek, I think every EFL game, or certainly championship games, on the red button on Sky, I do, for my sins, pay an extortionate amount a month to Rupert Murdoch's Sky. So this is fully legal, what I'm watching. Welcome along, everyone. Mary says, watching from Scotland, Airdrie, with my Norwich-loving fiance. We love TNC. Your commentating has been great. That's very kind, Mary, and hello to your fiance as well. And I hope it's okay up in the lovely Scotland. I forget how exhausting these watch-alongs are. I think I've actually exerted more energy on this 44 minutes so far than Mate Jurisic did against Bristol City. I put more effort in for the football club than Jurisic did the other day. Breathe. Maybe we can have a meditation session in a moment. Would that be fun? Ezek flying in with the super chats again. My friend, that is so kind. Hull are hammering Leicester. Are they? Hull are hammering Leicester. Well, that's all right. We've got Leicester in a few weeks. Will Hull We'll hull a Hull, we'll hammer Hull, and we'll hammer Leicester. And we'll get top 6 and we'll go up. And Jakov Menic will be fist pumping away at Liverpool next season in front of the Kop end when he scores a 90th minute winner on the final day of the season to get us into the Europa League. And yes, I've only had half a pint of Lakens. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. These are great fun. And I'm really glad that this technology is working so far because I was stressing about it. And I think actually stressing about this was a better use of energy than stressing about Norwich. There's no point stressing about Norwich. What can you do realistically? You know, we've just got to hope that the people involved at the football club have the best interests at heart and that know what they're doing. That's all we've got to hope for. And the rest will play out. Nearly half time here. Couple of minutes added on. Norwich had 72% possession, 9 corners, 310 passes, 2 shots on target. Basically fucking going up, aren't we, on that? If you look at those numbers and ignore the scoreline and ignore the season so far and ignore everything else, but just look at those match stats, you'll assume that we're top of the league. So just do that. Simple. I fixed it. I fixed Norwich's problems. Ignore all bad data and just look at the good stuff. Life's much simpler then, isn't it? Much simpler. I haven't got the sound on for the match, but a lot of people are saying that the Derby fans are somewhat disgruntled, and I'm not surprised. That they have been poor, and that is another reason why Norwich City should be winning and should win this game. Note the word "should" in that. Just seen a wonderful comment that's got me incredibly excited. Benny says, Makama is playing like Adriano. Adriano. Pro Evo 6 legend. Adriano. Yeah, Makama's been great tonight. Makama's been great. Aldry, I know you're a Derby fan, mate. Stats don't win games, goals do. Mate, just let me have the stats for now, right? When you're 1-0 up, when Derby are 1-0 up, you know, you can be cheery and things. Just let me be excited about not losing a football match and actually looking half competent, okay? You can be doom and gloom later on. It is half time. It is 0-0. And you are watching Talk Norwich City at the Watchalong. We're in yellow away from home, which is always fun, isn't it? Right, let's get some half-time thoughts in the comment section. What did you make of that? What did you make of that? I thought that was competent. It wasn't mind-blowing. It wasn't, edge of your seat stuff. But it also wasn't wanting to gouge your eyes out. Norwich created chances. 2 really good chances in that half through Schwartau, Gibbs, and Maatsen. Could and probably should have scored at least one of them, but we didn't. But that was a much better performance than what we've seen in recent weeks. So that's good. That is a good thing. But we do still need to convert those chances into goals. But baby steps. Tyler, thanks so much for the super chat. He says, I'm loving the XP. For those new and those that don't follow football statistics carefully, XP refers to expected passion. Loving the XP from Medic and Schwartau. I agree, Tyler. I agree. 2 great moments in that half. One 19-year-old Oscar Schwartau who has he been? I think he's been the best signing, maybe barring Kovacevic and Darling. He's been the best signing in the Ben Napper era. Undoubtedly, he is a proper player. Getting the fans going. And then Jakov Menic making a fairly routine clearance and double fist pumping before the ball was even cleared. That was excellent as well, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. Chrissy Dayton. Hello, mate. How are you? What have I just watched? Light and Day. Is Liam Gibbs the answer? What is going on? Some big questions in there, Chris. I don't know if... Is Liam Gibbs the answer? Maybe. What is going on? Don't know. Norwich looking relatively competent. What's changed? This is what always confuses me. And this isn't just a Liam Manning thing or before it was a Johannes thing and then it was Dave Harden thing. Why are performances so vastly different from game to game? We were so shit against Bristol City. We were so bad against Wrexham. We were so bad, against whoever, most games this season. And then we come to Derby on a pissing down Tuesday night at Pride Park and start to put in a performance. What's changed from Saturday to now? It's been like 72 hours. I don't get it. But that's the joy of football. Doesn't make sense. Tobias says substitutions are going to be so important in the next 45 minutes. Yeah, let's actually, I know that the lineups are slightly off, but they'll flick round in a minute. But yeah, substitutions are going to be interesting. We've got like £20 million worth of talent on the bench. I'm not saying that any of that talent is any good, but there's money on the bench. Yeah, look, this is here for Norwich to win. This is a huge opportunity for Norwich to win. Now they just need to go and win it. Like, that was a good first half. Now let's see a good second half and let's see a goal, right? And then let's see what happens. Because I've seen this script play out before. Norwich huff and puff for 45, come out a bit complacent second half, concede in the 60th minute, never land a punch again, lose 1-0. Right? I've seen that script a lot. And I'm almost expecting that happens because I've been exposed to it so much. So let's hoping the script is somewhat different this time around. Halftime thoughts, people. Halftime thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I will try and get through as many of them as I can. Mr. Radio Floyd. Water closet? Yeah, I might need to pop to the loo in a minute. Just watching those first half chances back. A chance within like 60 seconds. Kenny McLean, Jovan McCarmer, Liam Gibbs. Bish, bash, bosh. Wasn't quite real good, Marsh. It was a good save from the Derby goalkeeper, but like that set the precedent, right? That set a moment. Great header from McCarmer into Gibbs, gets it on target. Good save from the goalkeeper. Gibbs had a chance. Schwartz had a chance. Matson's had a chance. Sargent's had way more of the ball. Some good goalkeeping, some poor finishing has meant that we don't go into the break. 1-0 up. A few super chats flying through. Very, very kind. Let's take a look. RNDM says, love Gibbs, but not a central attacking midfielder. Don't want Ciernats on. I think this is where, look, I don't like the injuries thing as an excuse. I don't buy it. And I think actually like a lot of the reason we have injuries is down to us. Like the Chris Gardner one aside, that was a bit of a freak fall. They're all muscle injuries, and that's not anything new. So I don't love to buy into the injuries thing, but I think Liam Manning likes Liam Gibbs, and I think Liam Gibbs has actually been okay so far this season, and he is a good option to have. But you could have, Chris Gordon, you could have Forson. Like, there are players injured that would definitely be starting ahead of Liam Gibbs. And I think that's where it kind of plays into focus a little bit more. And that's where we've been slightly unfortunate. And that's where I do sympathise with Liam Manning because, Diallo, another great example, right? Diallo, a player that started really strongly against Watford. What did he get? An assist. Looked really good. Injured. Like, I do sympathise with that. I don't think it's an excuse, but I do sympathise because I think through Chris Gordon, through Forson, through Diallo, even through like a Slimane potentially, you're missing a lot of options, and it means that you're having to play Kenny McLean at left back. It means that you're having to play Liam Gibbs in central attacking midfield. It means that you're having to play John McCarmer at right wing. It's not ideal. It's not an excuse for the performances, but it is something to factor in. Who else? MJM says, I think, sorry, wrong one. MJM, I think Manning is out of his depth. Can't cope with top six ambitions, injuries, no plan B, still the same tactics as last game. Derby are just worse. I get where you're coming from, MGM. I do get where you're coming from on that. I'd say the system is a bit different tonight. Certainly in terms of personnel and the way we've played has been different. I would agree with you, Derby have been poor, but like, here's my controversial take. I don't think you have to be that good to win a lot of championship games. You know, I look at Stoke, I look at Borough this season. I don't think they're brilliant teams, but they're effective this season. And that's what Norwich need to be. You just need to be consistently effective. You don't need to be consistently great. You just need to be effective. And that's what Norwich haven't been for so long. Norwich were effective under Daniel Farker. They were also incredible at points. But there were also games that you kind of gloss over where Norwich were really kind of very average under Daniel Farker, but they still found ways to win. We've not done that under anyone since Daniel Farker. And like previous to that, you know, Alex Neil, Paul Lambert. Lambert was a great example. Like, again, played astonishing football at times, but also games where we were distinctly average. But Holty or Martin or Steve Morrison or someone would kind of dig us out. That's what we need more of. We should go to Derby, and even if we're not at our best, we should be able to win. And that's not been the case for quite some time. Stephen says, would love the return of the vlogs, Jack. Yeah, I always say this, like, maybe one day. I think I will definitely bring like a special version back at some point. Here's the honest truth around the vlogs. I go to the games. I don't really get to a load of away games now. And when like I like doing these watch-alongs, so that constitutes a few of the away games. I'll probably do like 5 a season at this stage because life and work and everything else. And so I go to every home game, still got my season ticket. I really value going to Carrow Road as like 90 minutes, an afternoon with my mates that I don't see very often because we're adults now and we've got, you know, lives outside of everything else. I really value going to Carrow Road and not making content. And then I can come away, and once I'm away from Carrow Road, I'll make the videos and stuff. And also my match day at Carrow Road is very similar. I see the same people, I do the same things. I love that, but it doesn't make for overly entertaining content. What would make for entertaining content is an away day with some of the faces that you know and love from the old match day experiences on TNC. We had some great times. We were all 18, 19, going across the country, watching Norwich in the Championship, in the Premier League, you know, first experiences of drinking on away days. They were great times, but that was a moment in time, and things have changed a bit since then. I will do a match day experience at some point, 100%. They're never going to come back regularly, but I will do something special at some point. I promise you that. And thanks, Stephen, for the super chat, and I really do appreciate it. God, super chat's flying in. Shark Snake. When you go to the Chippy, what do you order? Question of the night. Question of the night from Shark Snake. I go to Brilliant Fish and Chips in Caister. I think it's one of the best fish and chip shops around. I get haddock, chips, small battered sausages as a bit of a chaser, mushy peas, and then I'll have thick white buttered bread at home. And that is why you can't see my jawline anymore. Love a chippy. My goodness me, super chats flying in. I'm so thankful for all of your support. This is a really, really kind, very kind of you. OTBC NZ said, I wanted to keep Borja and have Doyle and Darling. Look, Borja was always going to go. He saw his future away from Norwich. He had a brilliant time with Borja. We got good money for him. I wasn't too upset about that one. Doyle and Darling would have been an interesting one. Like, I think if we wanted him bad enough, we could have got Callum Doyle. Like, you know, Wrexham managed to get hold of him. They paid the price. He went there. I think Wrexham have, well, famous last words, not on what we've seen so far this season, but I think Wrexham have got similar, you know, or less ambition in the Championship than we do. So I think we could have got Doyle. That would have been an interesting partnership. I like Callum Doyle. I don't think he was the perfect player. And from what I've seen of him at Wrexham so far this season, he's been really poor at times. So look, I like Darling. I think that centre-back partnership has been a bit up in the air. I don't think Yakov Medic is the answer. Cordoba's been disappointing. Rory McConville, potentially, like throw his name in the hat. I don't know. I think that is an area where we need to improve. I think we'll go back in. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we look for replacements there in January. Yeah, says shows at times we can attack decently. Just think we're missing a Sarah, Science, or Rowe, a player other than Sargent that isn't scared of having a shot. I think you're spot on. I think you're absolutely bang on. I think, you know, the reason David Wagner got into the top 6 was he had a couple of those like incredible individuals, whether it was Johnny Rowe or Gabby, you know, Sarah. We're, you know, always in previous championship campaigns for the last decade, even when we finished mid-table, you've had a James Madison or you've had a Murphy or you've had someone that is a game changer, I call them. Like someone that can take a game by the scruff of the neck, come up with a bit of individual brilliance and win you a game. I don't see us having that in this setup. And that's what kind of concerns me a little bit. I don't see a Sarah, I don't see a Science, don't see a Rowe, someone that can bend one in from 20 yards, top corner, when you're really up against it. Norwich need to find that. And look, maybe that is within this current setup. Maybe someone will come and find that role. Maybe it's an Oscar Schwartau. Maybe it's a Jovan McCarmer. I think McCarmer is a different type. But that will be the hope for Liam Manning. Also, you don't want to be relying on individuals. You want to be relying on a system. You want to be, you know, sharing the goals amongst everyone. That will be the hope for Liam Manning. And to be fair, the system has looked better so far this evening. Yes, it hasn't resulted in goals. He's hoping it will. It looks like Derby are making a change at half time. They're obviously not overly happy with their first half. But I do agree. I don't think Norwich have an individual that can really change a game, and that is why we've struggled so far this season. We've had no one to get us out of jail. My goodness me, look at these super chats flying in. Thank you so much. MJM, having McLean in Schlupp's role and the energy from Gibbs and McCarmer is better, but we'll lose to half the league still, even with this setup. Well, I think McLean is definitely an upgrade on Jeffrey Schlupp. Second half is underway, by the way. We are into the second half. Derby County 0, Norwich City 0. Derby will be attacking the Norwich fans in this half. That was a good opportunity to get ahead in that first half. Look, this is a makeshift team at the moment. As I said earlier, Diallo would come straight back in. Chris Gordon would come straight back in. I think Forson probably comes straight back in. Crescene or Mahovo comes straight back in. So there will be tweaking. I'm still surprised Jacob Wright hasn't started. But there we go. But you know, injuries have meant that we've had to kind of make certain changes that we wouldn't usually. Winning games is the most important part. Norwich are breaking here through Mirko Topic. This is a good opportunity to come forwards. It's Matson who will find Jack Stacey on the right-hand side. Mirko Topic had a brilliant bit of space there, and Norwich have got men over here. Jack Stacey down the right-hand side, a little bit slow in the build-up play here, but they still have the ball, and now it's Josh Sargent. He'll find his left foot, and he'll hit one. It's blocked. Good build-up play from Norwich once again. Harry Batista, unpopular prediction, but Cianats comes on and scores the winner. Whew. I mean, that's exactly what Cianats needs. He needs something to ignite his season, right? And I'd love that for Ante. I like Ante Cianats. I like him. I like him as a person. I don't like him as a performance. I don't like his performances this season, but I'd love that, Harry, if that came. I don't care who scores. I don't care if Carlton Morris scores an own goal. Norwich need to win. Stephen, God, this is a good question. Prime Cameron Jerome. Here we go. This might change my answer. Josh Sargent bubbling forward. That's a free kick. Prime Cameron Jerome 14-15 or Josh Sargent now. Jerome was underrated, man. Jerome was underrated. He was unbelievable in his day. I mean, on current form, it's Cameron Jerome, isn't it? Sargent hasn't scored for 5 games or whatever it is. But Sargent's a better player than Cameron Jerome. But don't sleep on Cameron Jerome. He was a proper player. Marshall, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Texas Canary from Cowtown. Love what you gents do on the ball. Thank you so much. We love our American followers dearly. Thank you so much. Just going to interrupt here. Norwich free kick, dangerous position. It all came from a Josh Sargent run. It will be Liam Gibbs and Kenny McLean standing over this one. 25, 26 yards out. Just find the goal, Norwich. Find something. Find something. I think it's going to be Kenny McLean to take it. It may well be Liam Gibbs. Derby goalkeeper just lining his wall up at the moment. Let's see what happens. Referee still not blown. 48 minutes and 20 seconds into this one. It'll be Liam Gibbs, I think, to take it. He'll hit it and it's miles over the bar. 40 Aussie dollars. Thank you so much. That's very, very generous. Do you think not playing right, our most offensive midfielder, is detrimental to Norwich? I hate managers who can't get over personal issues. Look, I've not heard anything to suggest that there are personal issues between Wright and Manning. I suspect it's pretty simple, and Manning doesn't want Wright, as that type of midfielder. He's looking for something different. Whether I agree with that is a different matter, but we've all got preferences. Kosmetic cleared, well done. And Wright obviously wants to be playing football. I mean, he was on the podcast in the summer going, I want to be the next Norwich City captain. He has moved to Norwich for game time and he's not getting a single minute. So you will obviously not like that to be happening. I think it's resolved. I think it's resolvable. I don't think it's terminal. Jacob Wright, he played against Borough, didn't he? Got sent off, and that was the last we've seen of him. So maybe Manning doesn't trust him from that point. I'm kind of, coming up with suggestions here, but Wright is a different option, and Wright is a talented footballer. That's all I can say. That's all I can say about that. 49 minutes into this one. Thanks to everyone for tuning in so far this evening. Norwich have been the better team. It's fair to say that. Let me just do that. See by the stats. They paint a picture. I've also had a fantastic delivery. Just dropped onto the dining table. A McDonald's cheeseburger. Cheeseburger and a beer. And Norwich City playing football. Couldn't get a better Tuesday than that, could you? Life at this stage is really peaking. All I need now is a goal, and I will be incredibly content with my evening's work. MJM again, thanks so much. Cov, Stacey, Darling, Cordoba, Crescente, Matson, McLean, Force, and Chris Garden, Diallo, Sargent. That gets me going, just not under Manning. Look, I mean, have I liked Liam Manning's football so far this season? No, I don't think anyone has. But you don't become a bad head coach overnight. It just doesn't happen. Liam Manning is a talented coach. Whether you like his football or not is a different matter. But he has been successful at every club he's been at. If Manning had that 11 for a sustained period, who knows where we'd be? We've not seen it yet, right? And that's, look, I think Manning's lucky to still be in a job. I think it helps the fact that if his boss sacks him, he basically sacks himself. So he's kind of backed into a corner. I think also helps that the Atanasios take the stance that they don't want constant change. And I'm kind of on board with that to an extent. What Norwich need to do is they just need to communicate. Lots of your problems go away if you communicate. Stadium redevelopment, backing your manager, not backing your manager, where you're going, just talk to the fans. Take the fans on the journey. Problems go away when you do that. MJM, it would be interesting to see with that team and whether it's Manning or another manager, what were to happen. Let me know your thoughts while I have another bite of my cheeseburger. Derby certainly, Jack Stacey's got an engine on him, hasn't he? Derby certainly more up for this half. They've been a bit better. They've had some chances, but Norwich still up for this. Jack Stacey's engine down that right-hand side. My goodness, does he get motoring. Sargent's certainly been more engaged, more, committed, more in the game. Get Sargent on the ball, good things will happen. I think McCalmer has helped with that. I think Schwartz has been good on that left side. Jack Stacey's constant up and down means that you're kind of always doubling up on that right-hand side. All we need now is a goal. Jack Stacey whipped in, and that is going to be a free kick for Derby. Chris Dayton, delivery out to you for that cheeseburger. Spending those super chats well. Have a beer on me at Hull. Thanks, mate. Very kind. Look, hungry business this. Derby coming forwards. Chance for them to attack. Oh, no, this is where it gets dangerous. They're in. It's Carlton Morris. Oh, my God, what a save. Vladan Kovacevic with a point-blank save from Carlton Morris. I thought that script was about to come real, where Norwich huff and puff and come good. And then Derby pounce, and we owe 1-0 down, and that's all she wrote. It was a counter-attack. It's Brereton Diaz down the right. It's played in. It's played back to Carlton Morris. He's got all the time in the world, and Vladan Kovacevic pulls off a truly remarkable save. That should have been 1-0 Derby. What a save that is from Vladan Kovacevic. If you haven't seen it, check it out. He has been just superb for Norwich this season. And it gets me thinking, what could we have done under Johannes Torup if he had a competent goalkeeper? But it's all Derby now. And this is dangerous. And it's 1-0. It's 1-0 Derby County. It was coming. It was coming. And didn't we say it? Didn't we just say it? Norwich will huff and puff, and they have to take their chances because Derby will strike. They're yet to win at home so far this season. That could change tonight, and Norwich City are really up against it now. And this is what happens when you're low on confidence. You don't take your chances, and then you get punished. It's a great finish. It's a really great finish. Pell Matson should do better. Stacey was in no man's land. It's cut back and it's fired top bins. Is Jakov Medic quick enough in? I think it actually takes a deflection off him. Is Matson good enough? No. Is Stacey in position? No. Does Topic do enough? No. Catalogue of errors, 1-0 Derby. Been here before, haven't we? We've been here before. Now let's see how deep they can dig. Let's see what they can do. Let's see what their character. Are we too nice? Do we care for the travelling fans? We shall see. Let me comfort eat some cheeseburger. Lots of this getting fired in the chat. 55 minutes and 50 seconds into this one. It's Derby County 1, Norwich City 0. It was a good goal. We should have defended it better. But you will concede goals in the Championship. It's scoring. We should have been 2-0 up first half, and then it's game over. It's out of sight. And what do we know about Norwich? Well, we know two things. We're not very good. And we're really, really, really not very good when we're behind. That needs to change tonight. Because if you lose to Derby, a team that haven't won at home all season, a team that are slap bang in a relegation scrap, then what does it make you? What does it make Norwich? Well, it makes you relegation fodder. That's what it does. We looked good first half. Well, we looked okay. We were better than what we have been. But you knew that there was going to be a bit of an increased performance from Derby. Kovacevic pulls off a miracle save at 0-0. 30 seconds later, we're 1-0 down from a nice strike, top corner. Concerning. MJM, you were right earlier, mate. You called it. You said West Brom at home 2.0. Yeah. Okay performance. Go behind. Can't find a response. How many times have we said that? It's a soft underbelly from Norwich that's causing this. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You have to, if you're going to have a soft underbelly and you're going to be poor when you concede, you have to put yourself ahead. You have to get in a position where conceding the odd goal here and there won't make a difference as Mirko Topic gives it away. And this could be 2-0 Derby. And it's a big, big last-ditch effort from Mirko from Jakov Medic, but Norwich are really up against it here. And they need to dig deep and they need to find a couple of goals, because if they lose this game, my goodness me, you are in a world of pain then. I'm hearing that Charlton are winning against Ipswich. Well, that makes things... No, it actually doesn't make things better, because Ipswich have been poor this season as well, and we lost to them. Ipswich have actually been really poor this season. We still lost to them. I said earlier, like, how can you be so different from performance to performance? I was referring to Bristol City, to them being, half competent against Derby in that first half. How can a first half to a second half performance be so different? What has Manning said to them in the dressing room at half time? Well done, lads. Good 45 minutes. But the Derby fans are actually quite unhappy. Go out there and just let them have a result. We don't want to see unhappy Derby fans. Too nice Norwich. Nice Norwich City. I'm so sick of it. We're so soft. We concede soft goals week in, week out. And I tell you what, Norwich have to be careful here, because they could be 2-0 down. They're not. This is where it gets really problematic for Norwich, and this is where I'm worried about Liam Manning. I don't think there's a plan B. I don't think there's an option for when you're under the cosh to just lock up and like control possession a bit. We just melt away. We just can't control the ball. We give it away, and then you can't get back into it. Nice burger anyway. And I'll tell you what has been nice, sipping through. My encore. Sip, savour, repeat. Don't we just? I have to say, don't sleep on Norwich potentially going down. I've not been saying that for a fact. Derby are relegation fodder. They've not won at home all season. Been beaten convincingly by many a team. Jacob Wright is on. That's interesting. Is Nakama going off? Okay, excellent. Our best player for the evening is coming off, Rante Sienats. Liam Manning going out in style. Norwich are in a huge relegation fight. Huge. We're not just had a message from a dear friend. Norwich are not just sleepwalking into relegation. They are plummeting. Jovan McCarthy has been excellent all night. Has been replaced by Ante Sienats. This is a good opportunity. And it's Josh Sargent. Will he get there? Oh, that was a good chance for Norwich. Look, it's not over. There's half an hour left in this one. While Liam Gibbs talks to the referee, let me just briefly go to the toilet. And I'll be back very shortly. 1 second. Have I missed anything? Have Norwich looked really good in the last 30 seconds? Can someone provide me some good news in the comments? Any good news would be great. I'd really appreciate that. Didn't we just say it in that first half? Didn't we just say it in that first half? This script has been written, acted out, performed, and watched over and over and over and over and over again. And we go behind and we just don't know what to do anymore. We lose any sense of being able to play football. Substitutions incredibly strange. But here is one of the substitutes. Ante Cianat's running down the right-hand side. Oh, he looked actually quite quick there. That was unlucky. We've had a couple of opportunities to get him behind. One through Sargent, one through Cianat. Both well defended by Derby. What Sargent is doing is he's connecting play better tonight. It's Oscar Schwartel on the left-hand side. Can Norwich try and find a way to get back into this one? They're going to have to find something desperately. Because if you're Liam Manning, you must be wondering how much longer have you got in this job. Actually, I think he's probably got longer than we all think, but he might still be thinking that. Probably isn't, because he knows he's safe for now. Why would you take McCarmer off, says Jason? I don't know. I like that plan of like McLean, McCarmer, knockdown. He was brilliant, McCarmer, tonight. There's something in Cianats that Manning likes. I can't quite see it myself. Not at this stage in this system. I could see it at points last season. You know, there were some goal contributions. I thought he looked competent under Johannes in quite a lot of games, but he's done nothing so far this season. And Derby are in again here. Harry Darling, good recovery, but it's still an opportunity, and they're going to find back post. It's Derby. It's a massive save from Vladan Kovacevic. That could and probably should have been 2-0 Derby. Kovacevic keeping us in it now. How often have we said that this season? Great save from Vladan Kovacevic. Point blank header. Great save once again. Jack Stacey, he's so good at going forwards, but he is so exposed at the back. And that is a system thing rather than an individual thing, because he's being told to bomb on forwards. Thankfully, Vladan Kovacevic keeps us in this one. Gang says, Cianats has played 729 minutes of football and had 2 shots on target so far this season. I told you to provide me some good news. Not bad news, good news. James says, please look at the current top 7. I think the championship is somewhat balmy this season, isn't it? So let's have a look at the championship fixtures so far this evening. Blackburn 1-1. Well, Sheffield United, that's not good news. They're getting points. So if we lose this, we are 21st. Derby would go 3 points above us. Blackburn level on points with 8. They're in the relegation zone. Sheffield United are on 7. They're in the relegation zone. Sheffield Wednesday, who we play in a few weeks, are on 6. We are 2 points from bottom. Don't get it twisted. We are in a relegation battle. We are in a relegation battle. Ipswich losing 2-0 at home. Sonny Carey on the score sheet. Brilliant. Norwich boy. Was it Kings Lynn not so long back? That is a story and a half. Brilliant stuff from Sonny Carey. Great stuff. So that means the championship top 7. Coventry, Middlesbrough, Millwall, Stoke, Charlton, Hull. What the fuck? Josh Sargent. Oh, can't quite get there. Ezek, thanks again for the super chat. I stopped paying attention. Was this another 60-minute substitution masterclass from Manning? Something like that. McCarmer off for Cianats and right on for Topic, which I don't actually hate too much. Look, this is not good. This is not good. And I kind of said at the start, like in these types of games against your derbies, you know, Sheffield Wednesday in a few weeks, Hull are in the top 6. Just find a way to win. Just find a way to win. And they had the chance with Gibbs. We had the chance with Schwartau. We had the chance with Maatsen. Just go out there and find a way to win and just alleviate some pressure. With every loss means more and more and more pressure. And then it's even more difficult because then you can't take the risks. Then you can't be expansive in the way you play. And it gets really dull and really tough. Charlton 3-0 up at Ipswich. I'm almost like, we've got far bigger worries than Ipswich losing. Who scored? Was it Hernandez? And Sheffield United are now winning, which means that we are now in the relegation zone. We are officially in the relegation zone, but it's Oscar Schwartau down the left-hand side. Can he find something? He'll go back to Liam Gibbs, and he's got men over here. We've got to be quicker. We've got to be quicker. So slow. Jack Stacey, space. Can he pick his head up? He can and find Josh Sargent. It's blocked. Last gasp by Derby. Norwich are creating chances here, but they're still not finishing them. That is a really, really worrying sign. Norwich are now in the relegation zone by the looks of things. Chris Dayton, thanks so much, mate. How can a team change so much in 72 hours? Try 15 minutes. Yeah, bang on. Sluggish, no effective press, no hunting impacts. Shameful. The rot has to stop. And now, I agree. I don't think the club agree. I think the club will be thinking that it's injuries. I don't think they want to change manager. I don't think they want to change sporting director. They may well get forced into a position where they have to. Jakov Medic, header saved. I don't think we'll see it tonight, even if we lose. We might do. But I think that Norwich will still have faith in Liam Manning. And I think the only reason for that is because the man that hired him knows that if he fires Manning, he is essentially sacking himself, because he's holding his hands up and going, I got the first one wrong and I got the second one wrong. Norwich are pressing. It's another corner. That is the 11th corner of the night, I think. Hello, if you're tuning in. I suspect there's some Derby fans, some probably not Ipswich fans, actually. They need to be worrying about themselves. But hello, if you're watching, this is the watch along for Derby 1, Norwich City 0. Norwich are staring relegation in the face at the moment. Whipped in. Good ball from Schwartau. It's nearly met by Medic, but it's not. Derby try and force a counter. Well defended. I think there's a head injury here, and I think they might kick it out of play. I didn't need to, but they did because we're nice. This is brutal, guys. Like, we have been on these watch-alongs before, like certainly in the last couple of seasons under Wagner, under Johannes. I actually can't remember the last time. I know we did a watch-along for the Portsmouth game, actually. What am I talking about? A win. We did a win. We haven't done one of those for a while. But like, we've been on these in some pretty dark. We've been on here in some brilliant moments, but we've been on here in some very dark moments as well. This is really brutal now, and I'll tell you as to why. I don't think we're any better than any of the teams below us, and there's two teams below us. I don't see any player in this squad able to like single-handedly carry us out of it, and we almost don't have to rely on the system. We can just rely on a bit of brilliance. I don't think we've got one of those. We've got a board and an exec, bunch of execs that are completely disattached from the fan base, and we've got a sporting director who's completely lost his way. And when you combine all of those things, you've got a shit show. And that is what we've got at this moment. That's what we've got at this moment. This is really brutal. And we are in a relegation battle. There is no other way of doing it. Norwich need to find something. 71 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. You know the most embarrassing thing about all of this? The most embarrassing thing about all of this is I've been saying how good we've been tonight. For the first half, we've been shy second half. Derby have had more shots on target. Like, we can't even look at the stats anymore and go, cool, we're bossing it. Derby, in pretty much the only stat that makes any difference other than goals, shots on target, they have been better than us. So that, and I'll put myself at blame here as well. That is how low our levels have fallen. Our standards have dropped. That we are happy that for 45 minutes we weren't losing against Derby County, a team that until tonight, still time, haven't won at Pride Park this season. They have, other than us, got the worst home record in the division. And yet still we are finding a way to lose. Thank you to Mr. Radio Floyd for his super sticker. Much appreciated. And thanks to everyone for their super chats tonight. We're really trying hard on TNC at the moment. I hope you notice and I hope you can see that. Your support really does mean that we can keep churning this content out and investing in tech and data like this. Do you think we're using our data better than the club are at the moment? I think we might be. Oh, man. Fucking Norwich. Let's find something. Jack Stacey down that right-hand side. It still doesn't fill me with confidence that Jack Stacey is our most productive attacking player. But this is a bit better. Liam Gibbs down the left-hand side. It's a poor cross delivered in. This is what I don't... We're now opting for crosses and we've taken Makama off. This is what I don't like when Norwich get like this, when they get really desperate and they just start whipping these shit crosses in the box. Build up. There's still over 20 minutes left in this game. Keep your philosophy, whatever that is. Keep your pattern of play, whatever that is, because I still don't know under Liam Manning. But stick to something rather than hopeful balls into a box when your 6'5" target man is no longer on the pitch. That seems balmy to me. Maatson into Stacey, wins the header, collected by the Derby goalkeeper. This is fucking useless. This is really poor. We are losing. Onel Hernandez is on for Charlton. They are beating Ipswich Town 3-0. Keep me locked in to what is going on at Portman Road. Onel Hernandez is on the pitch. Is Marcelino Nunez still on the pitch? That's the key thing. Fear not, Norwich fans. Our saviour, our Lord, is about to enter the field of play. Mate Jurisic. Welcome to the party, Mate. Let's hope you deliver tonight, my friend, and repay even a little bit of that transfer fee. Darren Carter, thanks, mate. Super chat, top man, really appreciate it. I think you're a member as well, aren't you? Really do appreciate that. Super chat, you can leave those in the comment section. Let's have a look at some of these comments. He's got to go, says Liam. Look, I agree. I do agree. I mean, you can talk about injuries, you can talk about anything you want, but I mean, this is really poor. This is the worst I've seen Norwich in the last maybe ever in my supporting lifetime. I don't even think the last relegation, I know football was different. I don't think the last relegation was as bad in terms of football and consistently bad as this. I can't remember it being this bad. And this is an expensive team. Lots of talent in here. Josh Sargent, well, in terms of money spent, Jurisic, Sinat, Topic, Forson, Papa Amadou Diallo, Matthias Kvist-Gordon, Vladan Kovacevic, like the list goes on. Jakov Medic, like he wasn't cheap. I think we've spent more in the last couple of seasons than some championship teams have in their entire history. And we're being served this. Like at some point, you have to look at the head coach. Does it get to the stage where I just don't think we sack him? I really don't think we sack him tonight. And like, at what point do you sack him? At what point does it go? Do you get to the stage of like, oh shit, we're in a really, really serious spot now? It should have been after Ipswich. It should have been after Bristol City. Will it be after Derby County? What about if you go to Swansea, lose? You might be bottom by Sunday. And then you've got a home game against Hull. If you lose tonight and Swansea, which I think is very much on the cards, good luck. At Carrow Road, there will be protests. I'm sure of it. It's a complete mess. But Norwich are coming forwards here through... I think that's Oscar Schwartz on the right-hand side. Here we go. Chance. Yeah! Oh, my God. How was that I got it? It was Ante Sinat. It's hit both posts. Do you just get to a stage where you go, Wickhurst? It was brilliant build-up play from Oscar Schwartau. Sienats does really well. And he somehow hit both posts, the inside of one and the inside of the other. And it's gone out for a goal kick. My goodness me. It could and should have been 1-1. Unlucky, Ante. Unlucky, my friend. That was... like, this stuff happens when you're up against it. Like, this is... oh, God, I don't even know what to say anymore. Whipped in by McLean. Sargent's there. That was an opportunity. Maatsen, we've still got it in the Derby half. Maatsen delivered. Good save. It'll fall. Oh, not quite falling, is it? It's not quite falling. Couple of really nice chances there. Mate Jurisic will go to Kenny McLean. He'll go for a diagonal. No Makama to look at anymore, but it'll be Maatsen that wins it. Back to Jakov Medic. Oh, my goodness. We should be 1-1. How are we losing? Well, I know how we're losing. We've been really poor for half an hour, but that should have been 1-1. Jakov Medic hits it. I think he's offside, and that might well be a Derby free kick. MJM. Just watching this Sienat's chance back. That is so unlucky. That is an inch away from going in. Half an inch from going in. Schwartau, Sienat's, nice touch, nice strike, hits the inside of the post. New chant. We've got Super Liam Manning. He knows exactly what we need. Kenny at the back, Gibbsy in attack. He's taking us to Division 3. God. Oh. Ross says big engine by Saturday. Alan, thank you for the super chat, $4.99. Really appreciate it. Damon says McKenna in. I don't think I'd take him. And they're starting doing worse than us tonight. $10 minutes to get back into this. 80 minutes on the clock. Derby County 1, Norwich City 0 at Pride Park. Ipswich score is crazy. Is it still 3-0 or is it more? Please say Hernandez has scored. Yeah, still 3-0. Is Hernandez on? I'm sure he is, actually. Well, something to reasonably smile about this evening, but God, I'd much rather Ipswich winning and also us winning. That's for sure. 10 minutes left in this. Can Norwich find something? Can this be a start for something better this season? Josh Sargent does well and has been better tonight. It's Jacob Wright who'll go left and find Mate Jurisic who's on. Mate Jurisic, what can he find? Absolutely fuck all, as always. That's what he'll find. Corner ball. Emi Marcondes is going to be coming on. He'll have 10 minutes to try and find something. God, he should have scored against Bristol City, shouldn't he? It's another corner. That is the 13th corner of the evening. And Norwich are yet to muster anything from it. I think they'll make the substitution before the corner. So it's Schwartau going off, Marcondes coming on. So Marcondes, I think, will probably play through the middle. Jurisic on the left. I don't know anymore. It's a complete shit show at this stage, but Norwich need to find something. Derby, let me remind you, are still yet to win at Pride Park this season. Potentially that changes this evening. Whipped in ball, Jacob Wright, headed clear, headed up and collected by the Derby County goalkeeper. 10 minutes for Norwich to try and save their season, to try and find something. Will they be able to do it? On the current performance and luck and everything else involved, I would say no. But stranger things have happened. And now, I think Ante Sienats has just injured himself. People, try and provide me some good news. Try and give me something. I think Searnats has just really hurt himself there. I think he's gone down. I think he's slipped. I think it's a knee injury. It looks nasty, this one. Yeah, that looks really nasty. Searnats. Oh, that's not nice to see. Oh, yeah. Oh, that does not look good for Ante Searnats. I'm hoping it looks worse on slow-mo, but the knee is completely buckled there. Oh, dear. It'd be really interesting to see. Well, first of all, the reaction from the away fans at Pride Park tonight. I don't expect us to go to Swansea and get anything. So the next time at Carrow Road will be that Hull early kickoff. Hull are going well at the moment. There is a world where Norwich are bottom, and actually the really, really saddening thing about all of this is I think this actually gets worse before it gets better. I think there's still more pain to suffer. I don't think that this is rock bottom yet. I think there's a few more losses coming. I think we will go bottom. I don't think there'll be the change that people want. Maybe, yeah, Searnats is really screwed. I think he might be out for a while. That's not nice to see. He's gone from, yeah, I think he's in tears. That is not nice. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, Searnats' knee completely buckled, and yeah, he's going off in tears. That's not nice. I don't think we'll be seeing Searnats for a while after that one. And yet again, it's another attacking option completely ruined. Yeah, he's gone from. He's gone from. Yeah, it's really sad to see that. He's £8 million signing, nearly scores. Looks like a really nasty knee injury. Goes off in tears. That kind of sums Norwich's situation up at the moment. It really does. He's come on for McCarmo. He's had 10 minutes, and that could be season over. There'll be a lot of added on time here. There's probably going to be at least 5 minutes, which means there's probably 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left for Norwich to try and salvage something. For Norwich to try and probably fail. The first half performance was promising. We had chances. We had definitely had good enough chances to take the lead. We didn't take them. Derby came out, landed a couple of punches. We gave in, and actually we're probably lucky to still be at 1-0 because Kovacevic has made a couple of really good saves. Granted, we also had a really nice chance through Searnats. He was unlucky not to score. Look, these performances aren't good enough. They're not improving to a big enough level. The results certainly aren't changing. So at what point does Ben Napper go, enough is enough? And you have to take, personal pride out of it and go, this isn't working for the football club. And that might mean that Ben Napper also loses his job, but it will be better than taking everything fucking down with you, which is what is currently happening at the moment. Because if Norwich aren't careful and if Norwich aren't proactive, they will be playing League One football next season. Norwich City have spent £55 million in the last 2 seasons and could be playing League One football next season. The objective, the expectation, everything that Norwich City said this season was that this squad is capable of playing Premier League football next season. Well, at this stage, they're not going to be playing Championship football. They're going to be playing League One football. That is a chronic underachievement and underperformance from Manning, from Napper, from these players, from the exec board, from the Atenasios. Poor decision-making has unraveled to the point where Norwich City could genuinely be getting relegated from the Championship. That is a mental sentence to say, but it's true. That is the lay of the land at this stage. I would say we are the worst, if not one of the worst teams in this league. We have got a big enough sample size now. We are a quarter away through the Championship season, and we are pretty much in the bottom 3. We might well be in the bottom 3, depending on other results. Mate, Jurisic. I mean, I look at this guy and I'm like, how has any scout looked at this bloke and gone, yeah, he'll fit in well in the Championship. I don't get it. I don't get it. And there's been a few of those signings where Norwich have spent big, and I've looked and I'm like, not good enough. And that makes me really fucking sad. Really sad, because we're in a situation where we're better than this. Shaney says, is this worse than the relegation season of 08-09? I mean, that wasn't ideal, but like, this is on paper, a far better squad. In terms of underperforming, this is 10x worse. And like, this is the other frustrating thing. How often have Norwich gone behind, gone 1-0 down, and there's still half an hour, there's still 35 minutes in a game, and they've just given up. They've just laid down. And like, I think there's so many things to look at. I think Manning has to take huge blame. I think Ben Napper has to take huge blame. If I was the club, Ben Napper, Zoe Webber, Liam Manning would all be dismissed tonight. They would have been dismissed on Saturday. I don't think that will happen. I think they will all get more time. But that is how I would play it. I think you need at this stage a complete and utter clear out. You need a complete root and branch change. And if that doesn't work well, then so be it. You rebuild in League One. But this is passive. And I do get the stance of like, it's not sustainable to be constantly chopping and changing. I do understand that. But what is also not sustainable is sticking with something that clearly isn't working. And that is what is happening now. Liam Manning, I think, has lost his mojo. I just don't think he's got that spark that I saw from him once. He certainly isn't getting the best out of these players. It's I think if you stick with Napper and Manning, you're down. I think it is as simple as that at this stage. I don't trust us to. We might spend big in January, but I don't trust us in spending it well. And that was the line out of the club that we got. The Nunez sale is easier to kind of stomach because it will reinforce us in January. Well, I don't trust Ben Napper to go out and spend that money wisely. We sold Marcelino Nunez for basically the same price as we paid for Ante Cianats. And he's had 2 shots on target all season. Emi Marcondes driving forwards. Josh Sargent will come back. There is a minute left of normal time. No, there's 5 seconds left of normal time. There will probably be 5 or 6 minutes added on. But Norwich haven't even mustered an attempt into the Derby final third for 10 minutes. The last shot was that Ante Cianats one. And since then, he's gone down, ended his season with a knee injury and gone off in tears. And there's still been 10 minutes of play. 6 minutes added on. It says 1 on my screen. They're lying. 6 minutes of additional time. Can Norwich find something? Simon says, Norfolk Holdings Group seem to put their full trust in Ben Napper. I fear they're here for a while yet. I hope I'm wrong. I think you've got the read absolutely spot on, Simon. They do have full faith in Ben Napper. And I don't quite understand why. This has got really desperate from Norwich. I think it's more likely that Derby score a second than we get a first. Tim says, I've seen some poor Norwich teams and some superb ones over the many years since the late 60s that I've supported, but this is the worst I've ever seen. James says, need a CEO and get rid of Webber and Adams. Probably then Napper. Yeah, agree. Neil Adams. He's got a cushy number, hasn't he? Six minutes additional time. 4 minutes left. Ollie says, just rejoin. What the fuck has happened? Norwich have been Norwich, Ollie. That's what's happened. We've got no underbelly. We've got no ability to fight back when it gets tough. We can huff and we can puff when there's nothing too much in it and it's 0-0 and everyone's being nice. When teams start to turn it on, we don't know what to do. We've not got the players to dig us out. We've not got the head coach to dig us out. We've not got a match winner, an individual that can just come up with something special. We've got nothing. We've got some very average championship players. We've got the odd bit of quality. Josh Sargent when he gets it, but he's been feeding off scraps for a while. Kovacevic has kept it at 1-0. Could have quite easily been 2 or 3 if it wasn't for him. And other than that, we've got a lot of guff that we've paid a lot of money for. And as Liam Manning stares at the floor and the rain falls upon him, he must be wondering, how have I got in this situation? Isaac, I honestly haven't seen anything good from Manning. I could forgive the first 2 games, but Wrexham onwards have been complete shit shows. I agree. It's been poor, isn't it? I mean, you're 11 games in now. It's not changing. It's not getting any better. There's not anything to signal a sign of, oh, this is trending upwards. It's getting worse. And like, how long do you allow that to happen before something has to change? I think Norfolk Holdings Group like Liam Manning. I think they like Ben Napper. And my fear is it goes on to a point where it's so toxic and you're so cut adrift because we're not winning championship football matches in these performances. There's no way. There's absolutely zero chance we go to Swansea and win. There is zero chance we beat Hull if we put in performances like this. And again, it's one of those nights where like Derby are poor. This is a poor championship team. And we're losing and we're finding new ways to lose. We should have won on Saturday. We should have won tonight. We should have beaten so many teams this season. I mean, you look at the top 6, Charlton, Hull, Millwall, poor teams, and they're in the top 6. Beggars belief. Like even there, you know, Mate Jurisic he's in a, basically a one-on-one situation. And I've not even commented on it because I know he's going to lose the ball. I'm not confident in any of these players, genuinely any of them. I'm not. I watch Mate Jurisic and I feel nothing but anger. I watch Maatson and like, again, cross whipped in. Just not excited by it. I just don't think we're going. I don't think we're going to score. And it's a really, really, really sorry state. Really sorry state of affairs. And I think I could sit on here for a week, and I think Norwich could be playing for a week, and I still don't think I'd have a goal to report on. If you are still watching the game, what are you doing? If you're not watching the game, let me describe it for you. Norwich are getting the ball deep. They're playing sideways passes, and then they're playing a long shit ball into the box with the hope that someone will rise and header it, but they're not because they substituted off the only aerial threat for Ante Sienat, who's now probably out for the season. Disastrous for Liam Manning. Disastrous for Ben Napper. There's no way back from this, and like they may well be kept in positions for a bit longer, but we're not stupid. The writing is on the wall, has been on the wall for a while, and there was an opportunity against Bristol City, against Derby, against Swansea, against Hull, against Sheffield Wednesday. That was a real opportunity to put something together. 3 wins out of 5. And instead, they've lost to Bristol City. They've lost here tonight. It is full time. They will lose to Swansea. I think they will lose to Hull. There's nothing more for me to say before this just becomes a complete personal pile-on. Ben Napper has to go. Liam Manning has to go. Zoe Webber has to go. Neil Adams has to go. And you have to find replacements for these people. How you do that, I don't know. Derby haven't won. Derby haven't won at Pride Park all season. MJM says hitting home FC clearly not playing for Manning. Well, I mean that's not even gossip. That is legitimate. Manning has said himself that they're not playing for him. He said that he could rely on 3 of his players to put in performances. I don't know who those 3 they are. Maybe Kovacevic, Darling, and Sarge, McLean. I don't know. He's lost the dressing room. I think the players have lost Manning. The only bond that's working is Napper and Manning, because they know that they're keeping each other in a job in some weird sadistic way. This is a really damning night for Norwich, and I hope and I pray for the ownership, the Atenacios. I once again call you out to the executive board. I really hope that it's starting to sink in now how real this situation is. I think for a while, they may have thought it's fine. We're Norwich. We don't get relegated from the Championship. We're a dominant force in the Championship. This will turn. This isn't turning. We're plummeting. We are plummeting to League One, right? That's real. That's happening. Derby are relegation fighting. We've lost our 6-pointer tonight, right? Bristol City, poor team. We go to Swansea, they'll be down there. We'll lose to them, right? That's not even we will lose to them. If there's a close up on the Norwich fans, fair play to anyone that went tonight. Again, no goal. Utterly disastrous. Chris, it's over. He will remain until Hull, I'm sure. If we're lucky, we get 10 points between now and January the 1st. And there's no way we get 10 points, Chris. There's no way we get 10 points between now and January the 1st with Liam Manning in charge. And I think you're right. I think he does get the Swansea game. The only thing I would say is if he loses to Swansea as well, for just personal decency, would you even allow Liam Manning to return to Carrow Road if he loses to Swansea as well? It is going to be utterly miserable, toxic. There will be protests. At that point, I almost don't think it's fair. I don't think it's humane to allow Manning to be in charge. But this isn't just the Liam Manning thing. It can't just be sack Manning and then change manager and things change. It has to be, if we want real change, yes, you can sack Manning and you'll probably get a little bit of a bounce and a couple of wins and, you know, you might survive in the Championship. But like, if we genuinely want to see progress, we need a new sporting director. We need some governance on that board. We need real change, right? We've seen the ownership change. We have the funding. We have the financial power. Now we need to see grown-ups, right, running this football club, because at the moment we haven't got that. We've got a load of people slapping each other's backs, going, well done, for really average work. Really, actually, below average. Shocking work. £55 million Norwich City have spent in the last 2 seasons. That is unbelievable waste. Manchester United get laughed at in the Premier League. We are the Manchester United of the Championship. We were once a dominant force in this tier, in the second tier of English football. We've won it. You know, we've been promoted 5 times or whatever in the last 15 years. You looked at Norwich in the Championship and you went, guaranteed top 6, if not top 2. We are not that at this moment. We thought we were pre-season. We thought we had top 6 credentials. But there is enough evidence now to suggest that we're not only not top 6, we're not mid-table, we're not lower mid-table, we are bottom 3 on every single metric, on the eye test, on everything. If this continues, which I think it will for a few more games, we will be in League One next season. Derby County have won tonight, 1-0. I am probably going to go and film a match review, and there'll be some content out for the rest of this week. But this has been a really, really, really dark evening for Norwich City. I want to thank you all for your incredible support on the Watchalong, incredible support on the channel. I hope that we are using our voice in the right way, and that we are questioning the right people. We've always tried to do that, and we will always continue to do that. But I hope that you all feel heard. I hope that we get answers as a collective, and so we, as in the fans. And I hope that change does happen. And I hope that the trajectory looks somewhat brighter than this. All we can do as fans is speak our mind and support the team, and expect better than what we're being served up now. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.